just literally. Why do we use that? Just restarted my machine, so let me get everything back on line. So it's not completely quiet in the background. We'll listen to some RuneScape music. I can imagine like a breakbeat going into this with this intro. This would be a pretty decent hip hop song. Pretty decent. All right, it looks like. All right, Twitch is telling me things are live. If you are new to our videos, welcome. If you eventually like what you see, please do not forget to subscribe. YouTube's been good to Monsters and Memories so far. If you don't know what Monsters and Memories is, we'll work on that. These videos that I post tend to, when I post them, again, I'm behind on posting them. So if you're watching this, congrats me, I eventually got it uploaded. These tend to just be raw dumps of our VODs. 3-4 of us stream per week on the team, a team of 12. So you get some eye candy, some art, and then a lot of just kind of review and design talk and ramble from my end. So feel free to skip ahead. Please check out the other videos if you are new here. But yeah. YouTube, between the Loving Robots EverQuest interviews that you can find on the Loving Robot channel, that's me. Between those and the videos we've been posting for Monsters and Memories, discoverability's actually been pretty good on YouTube, and we've seen that filter into our Discord, we've seen that filter into our live streams, so not bad. Thank you, YouTube. You did at least something right. Frank and Beans. Hello, what's up, Justin? Good morning, buddy. I am wearing my cozy sweater because it's getting a little bit cooler here in Germany. I wonder how hot it is in Bahrain. I wonder what Ali's weather is like. Let me check it. New York City is warmer than here, despite being way earlier, but it's rainy. Where did I put Bahrain on this? It's like everywhere. Oh my goodness, Bahrain is 39. Oof, beautiful. Justin said, having a good morning. I'm just making breakfast. Expecting a lot of rain today, so probably not going to go anywhere. Yeah, makes sense. Some days it's nice to just like nestle down in a warm apartment. Nestle? You know what I'm saying. Alright, so let me push the Unity button, get that loading up in the background. The very reason why I tend to restart. Sanguinator. What's going on, buddy? Justin said, yeah, they have eggnog now where I live, so I went and got some. Oh, man. I bet I could find some eggnog around here. I think they make it now. They do a lot of American stuff. But if I'm gonna start drinking eggnog and beer, I'm really gonna have to get out and get a little bit more running done. First day of fall, is that official? Is 9/22 the official first day of fall, you said? Hey Kronos. Hey Forever Mash. Hey Valman. Oops. Let me reset the weather back to here. Okay, cool. The way I got it. It really is? The first day of fall? I'll Google it. Want to hear complaints first thing on stream? You do you. Because I don't know if you know this, but I can't actually hear you. So. And it's a hell of a lot easier to ignore text. Tell me your complaints. And they better not be about race class stuff. Forever Mash said the poll for the class race art combinations got a few of my mates carefully hyped. One's a sucker for necros. Cool. Are they aware of the game? Or was that their first exposure? Put this back over here since I'm no longer in the using the dressing room to look at armor. It's really September 1st by main standard. Oh, so it's been fall for a while. Yeah, it definitely feels like fall here. I kind of dig fall though. The second month of winter, it's like fall is dope leading up to Christmas, especially around here when they got Christmas markets and stuff. Man, this year has flown by. I can't believe that's about to happen again. Holy shitballs. That is fast. That's the problem with getting old. The older I get, the faster time flies. K. Valman said, fair point. My complaint is that I went to the M&M website, clicked on stay updated, got signed up to the mailing list, and the welcome message that I got does not mention a game by name at all, or to be exactly... Oh, we didn't... Oh my gosh. I need to fix that then. Stay updated. Let me... Actually, I've got to make a note. That way I don't bore you guys with this stuff, but... Update. Mail. I thought I caught all of those. Sign up. Link. Landing. Page. Okay, that's not a complaint. That's a helpful bit of info. You had me worried. It was 98 in South Kakalaki yesterday. Last yesterday. You were on that. Actually, that sounds pleasant to me. Frankenbean said, I have a complaint also. I wish I was taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl, something I would call her. Let me find the actual lyric there. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala. There you go. A little skilo to kick things off. How's the weather in Germany today? It is overcast. I mean, it's warmer than I guess it could be. It's not bad. Let me see what else is here. Pattis. Hey, buddy. We'll be about 95, 96 here in Austin coming after noonish. Fallon. It doesn't sound bad to me. It doesn't sound bad. I wish Jasmine and I would have had a chance to enjoy more of Austin instead of just hanging out in the hotel room. If the CDC had changed its guidelines like a month earlier, we would have been good to go. Angel, hello. I'm gonna call you Angel, even if that's not how you pronounce it. Who followed while I was gone? Ghost Warrior, Vendalus, Sandforce, Wacky God, Dinosaur Baby, Leela Lovelace. Sounds very like, sounds like a 80s actress. Residual 8, Short. And is that a lowercase L or is it an uppercase I? And thank you for the follow. Is it Anili? Uppercase I. So give me the phonetics on that. Could you break that apart so I don't mess it up, or give me a nickname? I always try to get them right. Since you kind of grew up all around, do you default Celsius or Fahrenheit? My wife is from Canada and uses Celsius, but her sister switched to Fahrenheit. I now use everything's in Celsius because when I'm talking to people around here or talking to my wife or whatever, she's got no concept of Fahrenheit. So I think I've been in Europe enough that I just kind of default to Celsius and then I usually just have to use the converter or something to guesstimate what the temperature actually is. Plus I've always been used to pretty high heat. Born in Florida, lived all over the place, but I was born in Florida, lived there a couple times, lived in Alabama for quite a while, Kentucky for a few years, Texas for, 9 years. So I'm cool with the heat. But since I've been in Europe, I've gotten used to like, oh, it's 17 degrees out Celsius, and it feels okay. This isn't bad. Whereas like I would be bummed back in the day if it was like 70 degrees or whatever. All right, so it's Ian Ilney. That's going to take a while for me to get it right and have it roll off my tongue. But I'm glad you're here. Nilni works as well. That is a lot easier. Nilni. My first EverQuest character name. So like a year or two ago, whenever I showed you my old EQ character, my original warrior, my original EQ character had a wacky name from a Clive Barker book, and it is silly to think about now. So my EverQuest guide name when I joined the guide program was Nil, N-I-L. And then I picked Azaleel when I became a developer. Oh no, when I became a GM, I picked Azaleel because it sounded like it would either be an angel or demon name. And so then I kept that once I became a developer. I just brought my GM name with me. But my original warrior name was Pyopa, which was, Pyopa was the name of an assassin. I could have sworn he became a protagonist in the book, but an assassin, like man, it's been a while since I read it. So anyway, an assassin from the Magica book series. Clive Barker's books, highly underrated in terms of world building. Incredible. He's built some incredible worlds. Weave World, really cool. So But I'll try to remember Nilni. How's the game coming? Going to be a long time before it's playable. It's playable now, but there's stuff that we want to do before we start getting people in to play with us. If that makes sense. So there's definitely some security stuff to hit first. We have the ability for people to go through like a legit installer patcher launcher. We're using Sola for that. XSOLLA. They work with a ton of game companies. So we're using that. That's already integrated. People on the team use it for their laptops and other stuff. So that should be good, but there's some security stuff that we need to do, primarily client side, before we even sneak some friends and family in. And then there's just some basic stuff to sort of polish or get going. So we're still looking good for this year, for, you know, at least smaller sort of sneaky, get some folks in, play test and test things out on the tech side. And then really it's about starting to get some content in that will make it so that people come in and are like, oh, okay, this actually feels like the beginning of a game. So here, I'll show you. I will hit pause on that music, and then I will hit play on this so that you don't miss any of our music. Did we crowdsource? How long have we been working on this, by the way? So, in a sense, we crowdsourced our recruiting. So, I was just thinking about this earlier. Basically the bulk of the team. We're currently 12 people. The bulk of the team became aware of the project through either my EQ interview videos that I did, which you can find on A Loving Robot. Here, let me... or just found us through this stream when we're working on Monsters and Memories. We've been working... went back through the Discord DMs. We've been discussing the project, and basically did the very first, like, hey, let's plop a thing in Unity and see what's up, this month 2 years ago. But we were still very early. And then I'd say the last year and change has really been moving things along to where we're at now. So if you guys are not super familiar with the game, you'll get to see it in action in a sec. But in terms of art and additional tech resources and all of that, that's all happened within the last year. So Angel is my current EQ2. Angel is taken, so this spelling makes sense. Nilni was randomly generated for my druid back in Dayak. The name stuck ever since. That's rad. Cool to keep something like that for a long time. Alright, so I think I hit all those. Vintali. Good morning. Buongiorno. Alright, let's log in. So we're probably going to spend some time talking about the survey because I know people were interested in that. We had close to 500 participants. I mean like 470, but let's round up. Did I part ways with EQ on good terms? Yeah. I had been pulled off the team to work on EQ2 very suddenly with my boss, the design director, creative director, design director, Rich Waters. So Rich Waters and I and Scott Hartzman, the tech director, all got pulled into an office on Monday after being told on Friday that we would have a meeting on Monday, but not to worry about it, by the head of the studio, which made us worry about it all weekend. We came in on Monday and we were told that we needed to go assist EverQuest 2. When we asked when, they said tomorrow. And as a coincidence, because I used to wear like Zero Skateboard Skull t-shirts pretty much every day a different t-shirt because I know the guys that own the company. And so my boss, Rich, had found a on sale, like a Christmas, a Halloween, like really cool looking, kind of fun, cute Grim Reaper statue that he had sat on my desk on Friday when I got to work. And then there was this thing, and it was just like a weird coincidence. So anyways, we were told we need to go work on EQ2 like on Monday. And there was no handover of leadership on the team or any of this shit. And we were just kicking off the development process, like literally just kicking off the development process of Gates of Discord. So we left the team. Gates of Discord was a challenge for the team because they just had their leadership yanked. I got over to EQ2. The team, EQ2's design team, was being run by a guy I hired into Sony for Lost Dungeons of Norath. And when I went over to the EQ2 team, I realized I really did not want to work for this guy. I later worked for him in Austin on DC. I worked for the guy that worked for him. This guy was the studio design director. And it was as nightmarish as I would have thought. So at least I didn't have to work for him on EQ2 because after a couple weeks, I said, I do not want to work on EQ stuff anymore at the moment. Can I go work on PlanetSide or something? No, I wasn't Smoke Jumper. This is a completely different guy. And so I went to the PlanetSide team, and that was Smoke Jumper. So Smoke Jumper was actually running PlanetSide at the time. And then after being there for a little bit, the team and I started a new project that was a mercenary MMO FPS that wound up not basically making it into full development. And Smoke Jumper stayed on what was left of PlanetSide, and then pitched a few games during that period. Actually, no, it was after that. While I was working on the mercenary thing, they asked me, hey, well, they didn't, they kind of asked me. Smed was like, hey, we need you to go back to EQ because the next expansion, Omens of War, is not going well at all. And so, came back and I told them I would only work on one more EQ expansion. And so we came back and basically redid Omens of War from the ground up, shipped that, and then I left to go work on a bunch of pitches that never went anywhere until I wound up in getting recruited to go over to DC Universe in Austin. So yeah, that's my entire history right there for those of you that haven't heard it. So I left on good terms. I wound up working on on DC Universe Online for 5 years with mixed terms because it was kind of it was a really cool game to get done, but it was a very hard and shitty project in terms of like just work conditions and stuff. So, and then right after DC shipped, I got laid off. So after 5 years of putting up with that nonsense and getting that out the door, a few months later, like 30% of the studio got laid off, and I was for sure going to be on that list because I was a giant pain in the ass. And I didn't know about severance at the time. And so they were like, you're laid off. I'm like, thank God I'm laid off. We all, like, the entire studio just went out and got hammered at this bar in Austin, big outdoor bar in Austin, when we got laid off because we were so done with it. They were like, hey, you need to come in and sign your release. I'm like, I'm not signing shit, man. I don't want anything to do with you guys. And they're like, no, you need to come in and get it. We've got a check for you. I was like, huh. They're like, you're really gonna want to sign that. And so 11 years worth of severance wound up, which I've got to say, it was very cool of SOE to give me the full 11 years, because there was like a 6-month period during DC where I was like, I'm out of here, and went over to another company to get try to get a project greenlit. And we wound up just jumping through a lot of hoops with Microsoft, and it was like, all right, this isn't going to happen. So I came back to the devil I knew. So yeah, for them to hook me up with 11 years severance was actually really, really good. Especially since I had already interviewed for a job like 2 weeks before we got laid off. So, and that's when I went over to King's Isle. So there you go. Good morning. Was I part of the company when SMED did the first public EQ Next presentation? Nope. How much was the severance? Oh, I don't remember. It was like I think it was like an extra 40 grand or something. I think. I don't know. Was that my first job in the industry? It was, Tappert. Yeah, it was totally unplanned for it. I just assumed I was going to go to another job, so it may not have been that much. It may have been like 20 something. I don't know, but I might be confusing it with a different check. Like early back in the day, there were definitely some interesting bonuses and checks and stuff that were available. The soul patch. He's looking like cool dad right now. No offense if anybody has a soul patch. Don't rage quit. To any kids listening, get fired or laid off. Huge difference. Belfaster, that is a legit life lesson. But don't sit around and mope. Don't be a moper, bringing everybody else that's going to stick around down. Go in and fight the power. The first job I quit was my first job at Burger King, and man, I was working my ass off. Like I'm very much, I don't know if it's because of the way my brain works or whatever. Like I'm very literal. I take if someone gives me instruction, I'm going to do that shit. Like I excelled when I was in the army for this reason, right? Like it's just, you know, I take everything very seriously when it's something I've told somebody I'm going to do, right? And so I was just working myself to death at Burger King, and I think I was like 15 or something, 14, 15, and the like legality of how they were working me is questionable because I think I was like 14 and I don't think I was allowed to work more than X number of hours, and they would have people call in and not work, so I'd wind up working tons of hours, which was cool as a kid for the cash part of it. But then my friends would always be coming by like, hey man, we're gonna go to a party and all this stuff. And so the after a while I just got tired of it, and after like just having worked an insane number of hours on like a Friday, they had me come in on my day off on Saturday, and I was in there and my friends were like, hey man, we're going to be at this party and that girl that you really like is going to be there. And I was like, oh my goodness, she's going to be there? I got to go to this party, right? And so I'm in my Burger King outfit, and I go up to the manager, I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna quit. And he's like, you can't, and blah blah blah, like it's gonna be crazy and you're the only one. And I was like, that's your problem, dude. Like I'm working other people's shifts, I shouldn't even be working this much as a kid, all this stuff. And he's like, well, you need to give your uniform back. And so he tells me I need to give my uniform back, right? And it's, you know, it's like whatever, 6:30 at Burger King, folks are starting to filter in. And he doesn't realize, like, when I was a young man, I was a fan of like stripping down to my boxers whenever I could. I don't think there was a party I went to where I didn't end up running around in my boxers. And so he was like, you got to give your uniform back. And I was like, all right, no problem, dude. And I just stripped down to my boxers right there and gave him my uniform. and walked out there with my friends. It was like, all right, we gotta swing by somewhere and grab me some clothes before we go to the party. So that's the Burger King story, Keith. Which made for a great story when we got to the party. EQ question. Were the newbie armor quests the ones you get from your guild master in the beginning? From the beginning or added in my time frame? I want someone to blame for the human SK one. K Valman, I think those were added after the fact based on the popularity of the Ixar quests. Right? All of the fact that you had like a little starting chain, which prior to that, there weren't many that I can think of in original EQ beyond like the monk sashes, maybe. If you guys can think of others, then. Yeah, Belfaster. I thought you'd never ask. The music started playing, the lights got dim, Burger King got a little freakier. All these characters running around their underwear is starting to make a whole lot more sense, Belfaster said. Hey, I'm the one to put pants on these guys. But only so that they could strip down later. Bum-ka-bow. The gnome pants do show up. Alright. Vindalis, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. Those of you that subscribe here, it's very kind of you. Realize it's never, I mean, I think, well, you do get the benefit of not having to watch the stupid commercials. So I think that's worth the cash if you're going to be here regularly. But you don't have to. Save your money for later when the game is available or when we put out a tip jar or whatever is going to happen. And subscribe to us on YouTube. That is a huge help. Subscribing on YouTube is cool. That helps us. Joining the mailing list is cool. It helps us. And we're gonna do more surveys. I enjoyed this last one. Having known 3 people who worked different fast food jobs, they are brutal. I can't believe the hours they get put on and getting called into work as shift like 2 hours before needing to be there. Yeah, it was the same. I worked at Little Caesars as well, and it was insane. I'll tell the Little Caesar story one day as well, but I think I've told too many stories already. We need to get to business. K Valman said those armor quests are actually pretty fun to do. To grind out a set. The problem with human SK1 is that the drops you need come from leaf scarabs, only found in commonlands as rarish spawns that are KOS to the guards, including the roaming ones, so nowhere to be found. Oh. That's rough. Trigatron said, what game is that? The one that you're looking at right now? The game that we are working on right now is a game called Monsters and Memories. You can check out our website here. You can get our Discord right here. There's a lot to look at on both places. If you go to our website, anybody that's newish, if you go to our website, go to the updates. Always go to the updates and scroll through our past updates. They're not boring at all. And I'm not just saying it. Here, I'll even show you. Monsters and Memories updates. Take me there, Google. Google. Alright, so first of all, you're going to land on a page that looks like this with some beautiful art. That is our art. Right? This is what our game looked like a year ago. Look at these guys. They're pretty wild. So anyways, if you go here, I'll just click on a random one. There are some words for sure, but then you get to see stuff that's in progress. We put little videos in, right? Lots of concept art, stuff that we're modeling. So it's a good amount of info and eye candy that's still valid even in the older ones. So be sure to check it out. All right, I need to check a quest I was working on this morning. Do you use Stream Deck for those links, or are you using something to post them with a keybind? I'm using a Stream Deck. After like a year of manually typing them in over and over again, I realized I had a Stream Deck the whole time and just needed to make hotkeys. Vandola said there are some starter quests that gave you a better scimitar and leather armor for druids. That were they in the whole time? Benilio, what kind of artist are you? You can feel free to, if you're an experienced artist, you can feel free to hit me up in Discord. I mean, even if you're not, you can hit me up in Discord. I try to. Ben is fine? Cool. Even though saying Benilio is actually pretty fun. This is our Discord. You can find me there. You can also find me in my old stream Discord, where I post stuff that's not related to the game. Like pictures of corn. Corn with a C. I just realized. Corn with a C. Thank you, BDC Retro. I realized that would not be a good one to be kind of mush-mouthed on, which I am. Let me see. Take this note to Tybalt Burland in the Wayfarer's Hospice to begin your training. No, those aren't porn. They're pictures of corn. Corn. They're pictures of porn. Yeah, I realized. I should have said my garden. My garden, which would not be confusable with anything. Jeez, guys. We're doing this live. It's easy to mess things up when you're doing it live. Food porn. Yeah, it is food porn. Tapper, I had some massive zucchini this year. Please tell me that was a Bill O'Reilly reference. It absolutely was. I try to keep my F words as to a minimum when I'm streaming. In real life, though, I have a really filthy mouth. I'm kind of like Bob Saget in that regard, you know, from Full House. Bob Saget was like everybody's America's like cool dad, and then you watch his comedy special and you're like, oh my goodness. Yeah, his stand-up was incredibly rough. It's amazing. Love it. Yeah, rip F's in chat for Full House. So there's so much EverQuest influence. I used to love EverQuest so much. Trickety-tron. Yeah, I think the bulk of us in here do. The game's not usually this dark, but I just made a brand new character. And I don't have a torch, and we don't have any special vision abilities in yet. All right, let's see if this thing actually works. I just kind of threw it in a database blindly earlier. Cool, his hail text is in there. Let me give him this note and see what he's got to say. I could probably slow that down a little bit. That still feels a little bit fast. I think I may start switching the default pauses to like 2000. As someone who's never played an MMO, what's a good one to start? I feel like I wouldn't have the time to invest, but also don't understand understand how much is needed. What are you just looking for any MMO? Or do you want something with a particular flavor? I think Guild Wars 2 is a good place to start. Final Fantasy 14 is a good one. Maybe download Turtle WoW, but I will warn you that Turtle WoW did trip my antivirus. We've got to throw a light up in here now that we've got quests in here. Here, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to make it morning time for you so that you can stop staring at a completely dark screen. And then maybe we'll have a torch. Or I guess I can cheat. I'm going to do both. I'm going to cheat and make it morning time. So, times that 6 a.m. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. Tapper, you should let chat know what kind of non-MMO games you like, and that may help you find the right MMO. I play maybe 2 hours per night on average before bed. Maybe investing 1 hour per day. That's still okay amount. If you can get 2 hours in per day, then that'd be really good. All right, he told me to talk to Giselle. Where is Giselle? I don't remember. None of these people are where they're eventually going to be. Did I put her up? I think I put her up top. Like, this little gnome's gonna be in his laboratory. I feel like I'm being very loud today. Is it because I'm only wearing one earpiece? If I'm being too loud, let me know. I've got a lot of energy today all of a sudden. Where are you, lady? I placed you and I don't even know where you are at. It's all very confusing. Oh, what's over here? There she is. Oh yeah, P99. Why did I skip on P99? I guess because I was originally thinking of like what retail product there was. And then I went straight to like retail products. And then I made a suggestion of Turtle WoW, which broke my own sort of setup. P99. P99. But you'll have to download some stuff. I just picked Guild Wars 2 because it looks like it's really easy to get into. And I'll be honest, I've actually never played it. I just watch people play it a ton. Oh my goodness. Josh Strife Hayes. I don't know why I said it that way. Mainly because I think because he enunciates so perfectly. Makes me feel guilty. Anyways, he just did a video on Guild Wars 2, and it was a good watch. It looks fantastic. It got me thinking, man, I gotta hop in and play. Not really my kind of combat and stuff, but it still looked good. Did I go to the wrong place again? I did go to the wrong place again. All right. You guys are probably getting motion sick. He asked for user-friendly MMOs, though I'm not sure P99 falls into that category. That's fair, Turnip. But overall, I'm such a fan of P99, it's hard to not recommend it. Plus, I mean, think about what we're making here. Thanks, Angel. Okay, I'm caught up. I'm caught up with you people. Yeah, if you decide that you do want to check out P99, join either one of our Discords, the stream Discord or the M&M Discord, and let people know that you're starting on P99, and I'm sure there'll be people that'll be willing to help you. What is P99 actually called? I keep getting the Walther P99 handgun. It is Project 1999. And there's a video on YouTube. Joe, why do I always, man, I forget his last name. Anyways, there's a great video that will help you get it installed in a snap on YouTube. Giselle? Yeah, I think I just need to stretch the timing out on these because it's a lot of damn text and everything's going really fast. But that part worked. Cool. I need to get back in and play some more P99. I think I've mentioned this 100 times, but I tend to like feel guilty if I'm gonna get in and play. I have been playing Salt 2 since it came out. Our wonderful team member, John, just released his third indie game. He in his studio. The Salt 2 on Steam. Man, it's relaxing. So I've had to be like, all right, I'm going to play for 1 hour and then I'll go do this other stuff. And I'll get engaged in exploring and looting stuff and be like, all right, crap, I'm 3 minutes over, but I got to finish this real quick. Okay. So, very enjoyable, but it's not an MMO yet. You're very welcome. Everybody, the Pilgrim one here in chat, that's John. Having a Monsters and Memories guild on P99 could be cool. Setting up group. Oh yeah, so we started a guild on live when I first started playing on Eridune like a couple years ago. We had a guild called Cozy, C-O-Z-Y. Oh, where I was going with the whole, I've mentioned this 100 times, and then feel guilty and blah, 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 was if they brought up a new P99 server tomorrow, it would be perfect timing because the weather's getting kind of crappy, so I'm not at the garden as much. And the amount of time I would spend on P99 if there's a new green would be crazy. Rumors say January. It's good timing. The weather's going to be straight up shit here in Germany, and I think that would be a great Christmas present. Triggerdytron, the game I was describing, Salt 2 is right here, link. I thought I made a command for it. Oh no, I made the command for, I need to make one. I made the command for Robert's music. Okay, this question most likely is asked before. Vandalis asked, or said, for M&M, what do you use as the back end? Did you create a custom system for the MMO, or are you using one of those MMO assets? Or don't you have a backend yet? And it's just in the editor. So we started with ML API for networking and Unity server. We've redone that a couple times in the last year and a half plus. Ali has done a few things. Now for networking, we're using LightNetLib and a modified Unity server, I think. anything more technical than that, you've got to ask Ali or one of the guys in Discord or wherever. Doc Duder said Tappert El Jefe on YouTube has a pretty easy install guide for P99. Oh, awesome. Thank you for that. All right, so let me show this guy my coin that I just got. Well, I found my first bug. Let me fix it real quick. This son of a gun did not give me my coin back. All right, so let's fix that. I have not talked about survey results yet, Alvius, because I know people are going to be interested in it. I was just kind of giving it time for folks to get in here. Doc Duder, thank you for the follow. So let's take this here. We'll go here. Open this up and let's see where the bug is. Huh. Let me try something actually, because I was updating a little bit of our documentation earlier, and supposedly this works as well. Supposedly. Any thoughts on managing economy in an MMO and thoughts about bound versus tradable items? Edgar 1267 asked. So economy in an MMO is a big topic. Fortunately, Ali is an economist by schooling, by training. So he's an economist that just happens to also be a highly sophisticated like regional security farmer. He does like crazy technical giant farms on a desert island while managing like 3 other projects. I'm not going to mention what they are. That's for him. And a programmer and a. So, but his background's economics. He's an economist. So we're gonna take what we think we know about MMOs and spigots and drains and inputs and outputs and mudflations and every other word I can throw out there, and see if, you know, if we can make it not completely broken. And then we're going to apply some of his real world economist logic to it and see what happens there. And then we're probably going to have to like iterate on it a handful of times. Absolutely not even bullshitting you. I swear I was thinking about this during lunch. My little lunch I made for myself earlier, because I was thinking about how interesting it's going to be to test our first assumption on the economy, you know, very early before we're live, because we're doing this in a very open and iterative way with you guys. We're going to try to get you in here and playing with this as soon as possible so that we can do things like look at the telemetry on how the economy is actually working relative to how we thought it would work. And the reason why I was thinking about it was in relation to iterations on item pricing. But yeah. Poop Maker, you're kind of like my coffee. Thank you for the sub. Big Man said, are you guys co-building an API to get data out for websites, etc.? Character stats items that have been found online. I assume you have a website for account management. Yeah, we've got a service and database and stuff for account management. API for dumping data. Question for Ali. I haven't really thought about it much, so I don't want to give you a poorly worded answer at the moment. How about EC Tunnel versus Bazaar? This may be one of those things I need to add to the FAQ on the website. So we're trying to basically, we're going to try out a concept. I'm looking at a black screen because I still have somewhere in the torch. Here, while we're doing this, let me repopulate the zone with the new data and see if I fix this guy. If you're asking me, EC Tunnel versus Bazaar, what we're going to do is provide a type of container that allows you to give other players your items to sell on commission, so that we maintain that EC Tunnel active trading game while allowing people that don't want to participate in that the opportunity to just give traders their items and have them do it, and set it up in a way where if you say, hey, I want to, 100 plat for this item, then in theory that person could sell it for 200 plat and keep both the extra 100 plat and the commission. And, that gives traders some incentive to like really maximize their, or min-max that game, I guess. I don't know. Cool. I've summoned a torch, so it's not as dark. I need to summon that item back. I'm gonna destroy the thing he gave me so I can see if he gives me the thing that gives me my coin back as part of this trade. All right, so that didn't work that way, so I need to update. Oh, wait. This is my fault. I didn't click off. Let's do this one more time. Paying attention is important. Okay. So he still didn't do it, which is fine. I didn't think that was going to work. What I'll do instead now... just in case, let me remove that space there. And then I'll update our documentation. Oops. I'll update our documentation if this doesn't work. Edgar says, I've enjoyed spending time at the EC Tunnel, training up my monks feigning death, and watching all the high level cast spells. Yeah, it's so social. It's such a wonderful place. Triggertron said, oh man, EC Tunnel used to never even level up and do nothing but buy and sell for months. And I was the richest level 5. We pulled a guy into my guild who is level 13, who is like the second richest person on the server. That's all he did. His name was Trade Cat. Trade Cat's on the 7th hammer. If you're out there somewhere, you were a beat. Vindola says, did you say you are in Germany? I'm actually from Germany. Hamburg. My wife says it weird. But living in Boston. I've lived in Hamburg for 2 years. From 2015 to 2017. Then went to Sweden for 3 years. And now I am not far from there. I am in Bremen. Bremen. They say it weird here. Archmage Salamander. Oh, sorry. Salamander. Salamar. Salamander would be cool too, though. An Archmage Salamander. We'll have to put that in an expansion. You're on 7th Hammer? So Kobex was in here during the last stream, and Kobex was a monk in my guild. I was in the Dark Exile on 7th Hammer. Agnosis asked, thoughts on farming, like reducing rare drops when mobs are super low level? I don't know. Anytime we start doing, I understand like removing drops on gray mobs and stuff that was added over time. But I just feel like, I don't know. Anytime you manipulate the world be sort of artificially to account for different power, it gets a little tricky with regards to just kind of maintaining the sense, that sense of, I mean, it really should become one of those things where it's like a time thing. Like if you want to go farm bone chips or silks or something that we put in that's comparable at max level, and just spend all your time doing that instead of just throwing some plat at a newbie. Okay. Yeah, so who knows? Our opinion may change on that. Did I fix this or just keep running my mouth? Okay, yeah, I forgot. I wanted to try this without the space. Go back to here. Create this. Destroy that. Give this to that gnome. Pin it in. Okay. Oh, it would help if I actually rebooted or repopped the data. Yeah, this is a challenge when streaming and working, because I just get very scattered-brained. Ugh. Bindala said, nice. Oh yeah, you said you were at Big Point. I studied CS at the University of Hamburg. I did my master in the VR department there. Took a bunch of game courses where also the founder from Big Point was talking about monetization and free-to-play games. Heiko. Yeah, Heiko was, he had already sold the company by the time I got there. But seems like a pretty sharp guy. Okay, so now that doesn't do anything. So let me just do it the way I've been doing it, and this will then work. So, here, we'll close that off. We'll do another item. Here, it's closed off. Hit save here, we'll click off, so records, we'll come in here. We'll repop the zone. We'll summon ourselves another coin, and we'll keep farming this guy for experience. Agnosis, thank you for the prime. There we go. Now it works. So I'll update our documentation on that front and continue to do it the way we've been doing it. The only reason why I did it that way this time was because I was reading and updating some things in Confluence earlier and thought, well, let me try it out and see if that's actually still accurate. Justin, you said you ended up homeless in the East Coast about 6 years ago due to somebody you met in EQ2. We have the same real life first names and we're in the same guild. But is that what caused it? Did he identity thief you? Alright, so let's go see if these items are actually dropping on the mobs that they're supposed to be dropping from. In a minute, I'm going to get up and put my puppy in his crate so he can stop making silly noises at me. Yes, you. Sun's coming up. Justin said, we had a really good relationship. He told me I could come live with him. I was living in a really terrible place. Turned out not to be the person I thought he was, and he left me at a hotel in Georgetown, Delaware. That is horrible. Sun's up. Sun's out, guns out. Let me flex my little gnome arms. I think these should just be like a low drop on any snake at the moment. So let me check a few snakes and see. Cool. And bone. Yeah. Rotting skeleton. Leave me alone. Well, I'm glad I'm invulnerable at the moment. Otherwise, I'd be so dead already. Archmage answer, your drops determine at kill time or spawn time. At spawn time. Which facilitates things like this guy wielding this sword over here. Ollie got the eyes fixed. They're glowing again. Justin said, things are better now. I have my own place and the management here loves me. As they should. Cool. All right. I mean, let me turn off aggro. Why did I just type that out? Turn off aggro is not how that works. Tar513, thank you for the follow. Albia said, gotta go to work now. I love you guys and I hope you have a great stream. I'm sorry you're going to miss the discussion of the results, but I know you'll be in Discord, so you can check them out there. And I'm sure you'll be talking about them quite a bit in Discord. Because you like yourself some Discord, Aldius. Nothing wrong with that. I was right. You are a UPS driver. Then who just started? Somebody just started a job at the theater. Yeah, I thought you were a UPS driver. Tar513, thank you for the follow. All right, so let's pretend like I collected the appropriate materials. Can't believe you remember all this stuff. Can't remember what I did 2 days ago, Justin said. I don't remember a lot of stuff, Justin. I remember a few things though. And that just happened to be one of them. Plus, you guys are my friends. So far you've been my friends. We'll see. We'll check back in a year. See how many of you are moaning and complaining about shit. What year did I get out of the army? I got out of the army in 1997. Until we nerf someone's favorite. Exactly. Until as soon as we start the race class discussion, friendship will be over. You were in from 04 to 2010. Oh, right on. Yeah, turnip. Whitechapel asked, I know this has been mentioned. Will you have mixed level ranges and dungeons? Yes. You're very excited about that. 2 to 5. Dungeon that has super deep level 15-ish camp is fun. Yeah, we're always going to keep things mixed up. So stat. Summon. I'm going to summon 6 of these, if possible. I guess it wasn't possible. Or I just did it wrong. Alright. Let's see if my recipe works. Yeah, I mean, there are a number of reasons why it's good. We can think of a couple of reasons why mixing level ranges like that could be bad. And we've talked about that some, but having, seeing those like high level players come through is pretty badass. Always having that ability for there to be that bit of social sort of friction where maybe they come through and slap a buff on you or do a little out of group healing for a moment or two while they're waiting on their group. That's kind of cool. But then it makes it feel less like we created this space specifically for the purpose of you in this level range doing the content and then moving on. And instead it feels more like a play, right? It feels a little bit more rooted in the world, in my opinion. All right. A bag of venom sac. And there'll be a willingness to change data sets and stuff over time if we find that everybody's moved on from that level. Though I'd still think that, oh, he's got a shield, but I'm not actually playing this character. It's so funny, the compulsion. As soon as I saw the skeleton had a shield, I was like, oh, I need to go take his shield. What should we expect to die to here? Is there going to be the occasional sand giant away from town? Maybe in the next zone. I wouldn't expect to see many sand giants in the newbie yard unless something weird's going on, which is possible. Wolfly Inept says, good morning. I've been plowing through the interviews with previous EQ devs the past couple weeks. I was wondering if you'll be looking to add any of these gents to the team down the road. If they're available and interested. I mean, the folks that I know, there are some folks that I interviewed that I don't know as well, and we'd have to, chat for a bit and figure out if the project's the right fit and if the team's, the right fit and vice versa and all that stuff. We've got a lot of chemistry on our team. All right, so here you go, Gnome. Boom, that was quick. Is there not a single delay in that text? All right, I'm going to do a delay pass in a bit. Maybe not today, though. Still think it'd be cool to have a scheduled event where a single tough monster emerges from the ocean, eats a goblin camp or something, and goes back in the ocean. But when it happens, the guard at town blows some giant Horn of Gondor type warning signal. It's not a bad idea, Belfaster. All right, so he gave me a tunic, which is nice. Let's see what I look like. Cool. Keep in mind, I've made these items very placeholdery. They're going to be very, very much updated later. But there's a reason why this is so brilliantly white. If you've listened to... Oh, there's a gap in it. If you listen to... this guy... Oh, wait. There's something missing here. So I'm probably... Yep, there we go. Sizes you up and then pulls a finely folded tunic off one of the stacks. Now that'll work. See, this is why we test our own work. We don't send shit to QA without testing it ourselves. Cool. So, that worked. Yeah, because his thing, if you... I don't know, you probably didn't notice the... Oh no, he did fire it. Yeah, this is just weird order of events. That shouldn't have worked, I don't think. Yeah, anyway, it works now for sure. Like I said, I expect to see a suicidal dippy Fark Paul running towards the city gates, taking out any noobs he meets along the way. Maybe a suicidal Ashira. Just stay tuned. You never know what we're gonna put in. We're a bunch of wild and crazy guys. Alright, so he gave me a list of stuff to gather. What's this look like? Oh, let me try something. I could have sworn... I thought Nick had done a note with some formatting in here. Let me look for notes. Notes. In the items. Notes. Notes. Spelled properly. Let me look at these guys. Do any of them have some formatting going on? I thought there was one with formatting. Like some sort of markup or whatever. I'm gonna show you my ignorance here. Is it... I could have sworn I saw something that was like some old school. See if this worked. I don't think it'll work, but we'll see. I'll take you back to the old school because I'm an old fool. That's so cool. Or whatever the lyrics were, I forget. Repop. Gnome Centaur? It did bold it. What? What? It's bolder. I mean, we're gonna redo this whole UI and stuff, but might as well put a little extra touches in there while I can. I can't move this element around though. How do NPC names get created? Do they get auto-generated from a list of names, or do you and the team pick them out as we're designing the characters? We handcraft with love and tender affection every single NPC name. We handcraft everything. The music is great, Sean. I was whistling it in the shower yesterday. Already feels nostalgic. Unfiltered. Actually, I'm just gonna call you Stallion. Yeah, it's gotten into my head. I love it. So this soundtrack that's playing in the background is like the long loop that plays after the theme, and it's wonderful as well. I had this playing in the background while I was just putting stuff in the database earlier. All right, so moondew moss often grows in or around wells. Cantharidin. Just bring me 2 blister beetle glands and I'll process them. Fat bile or an intact bile duct. Okay. So the critter bits should be dropping. That shouldn't be a problem. But I just realized that I need to put in like a little hacky version of the well parts until we get some additional functionality. Or I also need to experiment and see just how the current functionality may interact with that system and see if it's working. When the paper doll doesn't match your character, it makes the inventory look like it's just a picture you have in your inventory, maybe even your most prized possession, based on how big the picture of the guy in his underwear is. It's just a picture of my wallet. This is just my wallet. I'm like, oh, Humphrey, how I miss you with your half a foot. This is half foot Humphrey. He lost part of his foot when Dippy Farkpaw ran up here and bit him. What time we got? All right, we're almost an hour and a half into the stream, so we can talk survey results in a minute or two. It's an old picture. I just shrank a bit. I've been working on my fitness. You get smaller as you get older, and I do look a bit older. Why am I running to the well when I know this doesn't work? Also, why am I spoiling that for you guys? Look. There's a well nearby. There is. Cool. So I'll update that part of the quest later. What I'll do is I'll fake it for now. I need to make a new NPC ability to go on my NPC as well. Maybe I'll do that later. Cotswold, I guess you're excited about talking about the survey. Let's do that. Let me fake this real quick. I'm gonna run back there. I'm gonna summon the items. I'm gonna turn them in, make sure that part works. I'm gonna remember my note to fix that stage of the quest, and then these quests will be good to go. I really wanted to get both this cleric quest set and the paladin quest set in today before the stream, but that's how the day goes sometimes. Kimry said maybe it was just me, but it took me you explaining the survey yesterday to get what it was for. Ah. Yeah. Your first language is French? Take that into account. Oh, oui. Oui, oui. Jasmine understands French and speaks a tiny bit. But I do not. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me try this part of it out as well. So let me look up what's needed here. Quest. And then later on I'll validate and drop. So we'll summon. Slash SI. Boom. Boom. SI. Boom. And slash summon moon do. Come on. Oh, I guess I have a full inventory. I can definitely, yeah. We'll have to think a little bit about some of the CS issues that can come from this quest approach, but we'll deal with that another day. So for now, what I'm going to do is be wild and destroy this. So we'll give him these items. J Bombo was Stallion has changed name for ease of communication. But now I'm gonna abbreviate that. Now you're just Bombo. Okay, well that's broken too. Let's fix that real quick while we're here. Bombo. Yeah, because this is what? That's crazy. This is just straight up in the wrong place. What was I doing? I think I was getting hungry. I was like, I need to finish implementing this quest and go eat something before I lose my mind. Cool. Alright, and then she will give you this item. By this item, I actually forget what we called it. Let's look in another window. What did I name you? That's what I named you. Alright, so let me try all of this again. 1, 2, 3, 4. You think placeable camps would be cool. You and your party make your way through a dungeon, set up camp at a location of farm, might get slight regen from campfire, slightly faster recovery. Kimmery, we've been talking about some concepts like that for quite a bit. So that is probably going to be something we're going to screw around with. We're not going to do this, but do you remember what it was like to camp when you were playing the old Ultima games? And so you're camping so that you could like sleep, and it's probably been done since then. I'm not either thinking of the examples or whatever, but they were the first RPG that I can remember that did it, where it's like, okay, we're gonna set up camp, and then your characters are all sleeping, and then you get ambushed by trolls or something like that, and then you've got to try to wake you would have party members that are still asleep, and it's like, oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, it was very it made you think about whether or not that extra bit of health that you could get was going to be worth it. Having a physical camp would let other people know that a group of monsters was already claimed too. As if they care. Okay, cool. That part worked. I did not play enough of Outward. Oh, nice. Someone set up a camp for us. Yeah. / petition. I am extremely upset. Did they not see my camp was sitting here? Where is she? Is she out here? BDC Retro, I think it would be, if we include something like a mechanic like that, it's more of just a thing that's in the environment that has some benefit and kind of makes it cozy or whatever. It wouldn't be like a, you know, if the community decides that that's a way of officially staking your claim, cool, but that wouldn't be the intent of it. There. He's been there the whole time. And by she, I mean this guy in the weird outfit who killed a tiny stormtrooper. That's what her list asked for. Alright, so that part's messed up as well. Was I just not paying any attention earlier today? Alright, give me a couple more, give me 1 more minute and then we'll check out the survey. Yeah, BDC Retro, we wouldn't do anything like that. I'm personally not a fan of encounter locking in any sort of way. Unless it's done through environment in some way in some game. Not saying us. Oh, and then I put this in the wrong place. Oh, I know why she had that. Man, I'm a double dummy. because the way I have it set up is kind of counterintuitive unless you interact with her. And then she kind of guides you into the right way of doing it. Okay, so all of this is good. And we're gonna try this one more time. Let me destroy this vest. Though... Okay, did I fix that or not? Pay attention. So, that's covered. And that's what we want to do. And that's correct. And here... Okay. So we should be good. So we'll do this one more time. Blister Beetle, Bioduct, and Moth, and Repop. Cool. Cool. There you go, lady. Oh, okay. So now I'll give you these again. And your list. And my tunic. Boom. And there we go. Hey, Dark Inside. Cool. Now it works. So, we just got one thing to fix it, looks like. Wind bombs. Hello. Okay. It's also a bard ability in some tabletop games, kind of like the bard sitting around the campfire, singing songs, telling tales of the party's exploits, but in Keith, I'm sorry that I'm reading it in this manner. Keith told me to, when I read stuff that you guys have written, more clearly enunciate. So, Norden said in relation to the discussion above on the camp idea, that it's also a bard ability in some tabletop games. Kind of like the bard sitting around the campfire singing songs and telling tales of the party's exploits, building camaraderie and motivating everyone. I think the campsite idea is awesome. Alright, so I'm gonna let my dog hop up on my lap, and then I'm gonna put him in his crate. This is how I trick him. Dark Inside said, I'm having a very mixed morning. My sister is having a baby, and my grandma is dying. She's not expected to live through the day. Sorry to hear that, dude. That is a very... It's a tough one. You, you got a situation that's always hard. You got the stress of a baby coming into the world, but hopefully when folks reflect back on a day like today, there's a bit of balance in the outcome. It's always, man, it always sucks to lose somebody. But there's, I mean, that's inevitable, unfortunately. That is a huge part of the power of acceptance. And all I could hope is that at the upon reflection on the day that there is enough joy with the coming of the baby for people to be able to look at it as kind of a bittersweet day. Tough, dude. And now, doggo. Doggo break. What'd you get into? What are you eating? What's going on? Alright, let's get you to your crate so you can relax. Let's get you to your crate. Thanks. There he is. Officially off duty. He can relax now. Okay, so survey. Survey says need a bigger lap so Doggo can stream with me. If he would just lay down and go to sleep. Your pup just made my 7-year-old son's morning. Nice. All right, so for those of you that are not aware of what we're doing here, let me show you real quick. So, can I find, is it, don't we have that? Okay, there's a manual. So check this out. If you remember the old game manuals that would come with your video games back when that was a thing, right? Before everything was just downloaded off Steam. Yeah, the music's fantastic, Keith. Robert's just, he's doing such a terrific job. So we get these books and I love them. I mean, look at this imagery. I mispronounce his name, but Dennis Lubit? Labe? Anyways, this art in here is awesome. So we want to update our website to have like an old player's handbook, game manual aesthetic for the races and classes and lore and some other stuff, maybe some creatures and all that, right? And yes, the idea would be if we have the capability, if we're doing well enough to be able to purchase the manuals, like have them manufactured and then sell them through our store, we absolutely want to do it. And so we're looking at the illustration style. It works well with the line art that Goblin's been doing. Right, so we can use this style and, you know, color illustrations and stuff as well, but we really want to lean into that for our update. And so we ran a survey because each of the classes that we do. And here, let me see. Like I had mocked something up a while back. I'll find sort of like a layout thing, but it's not the right color scheme and it's not what we're doing and all this. But like earlier in the year, I had set something up to just kind of like show what I was thinking. Let me find it for you, if I can find it. I might not be able to find it, so we'll skip ahead. So, gonna be in document. Yeah, I'll skip it for now. You get the idea. You can figure this out without me showing you anything. Yeah, I'll zoom in. See if we can fit all this in there. So anyway, if you've ever seen the manual from Daggerfall, it has that look as well. Perfect feel for old timey. I have to look it up again. Daggerfall game manual. Image. Cool. So basically, since we've got plenty of classes and plenty of races and other work that Goblin needs to do, so rather than like completely destroy them with a bazillion images to draw, the idea was we were going to pick for each of the classes, we're going to basically pick a race to use with that class, or in that class's illustration. So we wanted to see what the community was thinking, so we sent this out to what, 2,100, 2,200 people. Pretty good engagement. We got 476 responses, plus or minus as we go through. So let's look at the results. It's in alphabetical order. So yeah, we will look at it. And let me open some over here. Cool. So I mentioned to the team earlier in looking at the results, the results are a bit vanilla, like what I would expect, because we've seen historically, both in the first survey that we did and then previous games looking at people's preferences, there's some obvious ones in a game like this that people like. So Archer, 127 people, or 26.7%, picked Wood Elf female to represent the Archer. Oh, nice. Thank you for that, Archmage. So, and then second place was Wood Elf male for Archer. Bard, human male with 120 votes. That's 25% of the vote. Second place is halfling male. Beastmaster. Troll male, 131 votes, 28%. Ogre male, 22%. Cleric, 97 votes, which is 20% of the vote. There's a lot more here. Second place, High Elf female with 68 votes, 14%, if I'm not mistaken. That's second place, followed by Deep Dwarf with 13%. Not bad for a Deep Dwarf. Druid. Wood Elf female. Again, 116 votes. That's 24.5%. Second place, Wood Elf male. Elementalist. A little bit tighter competition here, but the gnome male wins with 16% of the vote, or 79 votes. And then we have High Elf male with 63. And High Elf female ekes in above Deep Elf with 49 votes. Enchanter. Oh, when I updated this earlier, I guess I'd missed the note for next time. So Enchanter, again, a little bit tighter race. High Elf female with 96 votes is the winner. How readable is this? I'm not looking at my Streamlab. Oh my gosh, it's so blazing white. Apologies. Hopefully I'm not burning your retinas. Alright, so Enchanter was High Elf female with a second place of Deep Elf female. And then third place... Oh no, second place High Elf male, third place Deep Elf female. I was probably the only one that picked a troll fighter, Justin said. We'll see. Fighter! So Ogre male fighter crushed it with 140. That one's a pretty clear indication. Troll had 41. You weren't alone, Justin. And then second place on Troll is Deep Dwarf male. Not bad, Deep Dwarf. That's another Deep Dwarf that's in the sort of top bracket. And then Human male at 59 is third place. You took the survey 40 times? I can check that. You better not have. You'll be on my list, sir. Inquisitor. A lot flatter distribution here, but still not bad. It still had 467 votes. Inquisitor being a newer concept too. I could see how people aren't like, oh man, I used to play an Inquisitor, so I have my heart set on something. So where are we at? This is a tight race. High Elf male Inquisitor is tied for Deep Elf female Inquisitor. Both could look pretty cool in my opinion. And third place is Deep Elf male. So that's pretty cool. Monk. Very clear winner here. Humans. Boltron said try to pick the most weird combination. I don't know. Was there really a weird combination? If it was weird, it wouldn't be on here. Well, you have no lizards, though. We have no lizards yet. Surprised by the high elf popularity. They never seem very popular to me in comparison to the other elf types. That's an interesting point because I actually believe data-wise, that's correct. I wish I had all that old data. Man. I swear I've got a Dropbox that I can't access anymore, and they're a complete pain in the ass to deal with to try to get access to it. And it's like, well, do you not have the phone that you used 15 years ago? No, I don't. What about the email address you used 15 years ago? No. I'll give you whatever you want. You want DNA? I'll send you one of my remaining hairs. You can analyze it. You want me to show you the progression of phone numbers and addresses since then, Dropbox? just let me into this Dropbox that I had when I worked at Sony. But I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if that Dropbox had spreadsheets and stuff with some of this info in it. Like surveying what people were using back then. So anyways, human male with 221, human female with 101. Pretty clear. Necromancer. Deep elf male with 100. Pretty standout. Deep elf female with 65. Solid second place. No male at 38. You know, no surprises here. Is an Inquisitor like a warrior? Imagine an Inquisitor as being a hybrid that a melee hybrid that's got enchanter-like abilities. Sort of a force of will. What am I trying to say? A character that exerts like force of will and uses certain magics or methodologies to combat magic and silence folks and mez folks and so. They're a type of enforcer that you would send out to deal with magic users. Well, anybody, to be honest, right? It's gonna sound really cheesy, but the thing that I was thinking with when I was picturing them was like Darth Vader. I know it's silly, but like the force choke and the hand wave and all of that shit. Paladin. Pretty clear winner of dwarf male with 115 votes. Human male with 98 votes. And high elf male with 67. Ranger. Another very clear one. Wood elf male with 180. Wood elf female with 93. And halfling male with 52, I think, is third place. Shaka. Good to see you, but you should have filled it out. Rogue. Rogue. Halfling wins with 103. I don't know what would make people like halfling rogues, but they do. A bunch of Bagginses out there. Damn, Goblin lost on rogues. It's a tight one though, it's close. Gnome rogue. Well, keep in mind that you can make whatever you want. But we're looking at this for the illustration. Regis as well from the Dritz books. Woefully inept, fair point. Regis is solid. That's a solid example. Unless you're listening to the audiobook. And then, man, Regis is hard to listen to. That's a good point. How does a halfling backstab? You know, lower back. Hopper. I don't know. Die high stabber. Do you want to have a broad range of races in there, or if everyone had chosen human for every class, would you have just put a bunch of human pictures in? Yeah, if people would, if basically all of one race got picked, we'd mix it up to make it look good. We're still gonna have to mix it up a little bit, just because. So I'll go through the summary in a second, but Shadow Knight. Shadow Knight, Ogre Male wins again with 120. Troll Male is second place with 108. And Deep Elf Male is third place with 70. Shaman, we have Troll Female with 81. That's 17% of the vote. Ogre Female with 67 is second place. And Goblin Male with 61 is third place. Spellblade. It's kind of tight here. This is interesting. And in both cases, both Deep Elf and in High Elf, the female edge just above their male counterpart in this. So Spellblade, High Elf female 85, High Elf male 77, High Elf or Deep Elf female 59 in third place. And for the last one, Wizard had 474 votes. So participants, and Wizard, the winner is High Elf male with 89. That's 18.8%. I believe, yeah, the female counterpart is 64 votes with 13.5%. And where are we at from there? I think human male is third place. Yeah. All right. No dwarf winners, or you missed it? Kronos, you missed it. Dwarf, I believe, Paladin. Let me scroll. Dwarf male Paladin. Cleric was it dwarf male as well? You're right, it was. He won there as well. And so the summary is we had Deep Elf male, 2 Dwarven male, Gnome male, Halfling male, High Elf male, 2 High Elf female, Human male twice, Ogre male twice, Troll male, Troll female, Wood Elf male twice, or female twice. So we'll have to look at it and mix it up a little bit. I mean, it's not like you're gonna not see some of these other combos and a lot of other stuff, right? We're doing all sorts of illustrations, and we'll have other art available that shows a mix. Goblin's been really good about mixing up the various illustrations today. But those are the votes that we have. Still very curious to hear more about the debate around the Dwarf Beastmaster, and even more curious about the thoughts going behind going for halflings over them. So let me find pull this down here, minimize that, bring you guys up to where I can see you again. Norden said what? No mandrakes? Yeah, sorry. Again, this is the first pass. You guys, you gotta realize that if we do well and you enjoy the game, then we've got stuff to add in the future. Beastmaster options. You're surprised to see Goblin in there? Didn't know that was confirmed race. Yep, it's in there. So anyways, to answer your question, Kronos, we were trying to keep things fairly limited in terms of race class combos, with the exception being humans and deep elves. Historically, they're very popular. They're fairly versatile in terms of where we can use them. With humans, there are basically different cultures of humans that will be in the game eventually. And so they get a fairly decent amount of breadth across the various classes. So you'll learn more about like the humans that are primarily found out of Night Harbor, along with the tribes of traveling humans that are called sojourners, humans that live in other cities, the other human cities, etc. So they have a lot of breadth, and humans also tend to be played a ton. People like to play humans in fantasy games, oddly enough. Somebody explained it here pretty well, which was, I relate to humans. I like being a human. I want to be a human, but in a fantasy context. So, oh yeah, interesting. These light sources don't cast a shadow. I've never even really thought about it. Archmage, good point. Wonder. I bet that's an expense thing. Need to talk to Ali about that. So. Nilni, have a great one. Thanks for popping in here. So, let's see. The question that I still haven't answered. Dwarf Beastmaster. It was a close call on that. Basically, without getting into too many details, it was a tough back and forth. We wound up going with Ranger and not Beastmaster for the dwarves in terms of availability, based a little bit on how they will be initially set up and presented. It doesn't preclude them from having that option in the future. As I've mentioned, there are a number of missing options on here. I think basically every race except for humans and deep elves got about 8 classes to pick from. So I would say in terms of quests, unlocks, or future unlocks related to that combo, I wouldn't be shocked there. And then your Chronos says, from the class art, it makes them look very wild, tough. Taming ravenous beasts, living in the wilderness. It feels like dwarves being a rather tough, brave race. It would be right up their alley, while halflings tend to be seen as adventurous village folk, but not tough in the same sense as dwarves. Don't let the concept art fool you. Not everybody, not every Beastmaster needs to be blazing around, happy trail out, ripped and savage. Their relationship with nature, I think, is something that we'll explore and make it make sense. I know the iconic art that was done up for them was done very much in that way to kind of reflect. If you remember the one of the characters from Fire and Ice, the illustrated movie back in the day, just hitting that old like Frazetta look. But them, you know, I think we can pull it off with the halfling in a way that takes that same iconic look and tweaks it a little bit and makes it pretty cool, and it feels like less like savage badass and more like someone that's very in sync with and communing with nature in that way. But we'll see. anything we do, I don't think we're gonna have 100% hit rate, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then, like I said, for dwarves, I've already got an idea in mind about how to present an additional class or two as the game expands. Was there one other one? Goblins. I'm looking at our spreadsheet. Kuro said, am I correct in saying there's no large good race like a barbarian? Well, we're giving you the ability to play most races how you would want. So, depending on where you find them, ogres will either be neutral or not good if they don't like you, and easily played good within the context. Trolls, I would say, when you start out in the troll area, are fairly evil, but are not limited longer term. Ogres are more neutral. Deep gnomes, again, more chaotic neutral. Deep dwarves, more evil. Deep elves, more evil. But we want to set the systems up in a way where, depending on the factions that you grind through, the gods that you pick, if you want to eventually have your misunderstood, sort of redeemed deep elf, then you can have at it. Have you ever messed around with Dream Studio for some of this? No, I've been seeing a lot of other people's images, and I've yet to actually screw with it. So let me click your link, and I'll put it up over there, and then... Edgar said, love the idea of deep gnomes. Psyched for them. They're going to be a lot of fun. Goblin Beastmaster? Why not? They can be rangers, druids, and shaman. They're in tune with nature. Because at some point we challenged ourselves to limit the number of classes that each race could have at the beginning, which then forced us to make some choices, and then also gave us options for what we could do in the future to provide interesting new choices, if that makes sense. And we wanted to keep it fairly limited. That's why it's basically, it's like 8 classes per race. Ishiwatare. Hello. Wie geht's? Deep races will see better in the dark. Yes, Kimmery. That image is something. Dude's legs are crazy. Schlecht. Und selbst? Geht schlecht. Oh nein. Why? What's wrong? What's up, Ishi? He's got quads on quads on quads. Have you had any more thoughts on innate traits for some of the races in addition to night vision, like trolls get regen, etc.? Before I blab on it, I know this is a kind of a touchy area, especially when you're considering you know, the implications of min-maxing and stuff of that nature. I think I really want to spend time talking with the team about what we could do there, and how much we're worried about certain things in the area of min-maxing, etc., versus making just interesting, fun, weird choices, and giving people options and making races feel unique. So, I mean, spoiler alert, I tend to be of the thought that the more we can make characters feel varied, the better, even if it winds up meaning that there's potential for min-maxing and the feeling of, you know, the situation where certain types of players are going to feel like there's only one way to play certain characters, etc. So yeah, it's a big discussion to be had. All right, so we ran through the quest. I think we fixed everything. How are deep gnomes different culturally from gnomes? So deep gnomes are actually a bit more tuned into nature in a kind of what's the best way to explain this? Whereas gnomes tend to be about the tangible world and innovation in technology for, you know, at least in what passes as technology in our world. The deep gnomes have already seen sort of beyond this world, and it's affected them significantly when they basically made the transformation from gnomes to deep gnomes. And they've taken that experience, and they're kind of the psychonauts of our world. And so they are very, very much about exploring across the planes, exploring across dimensions, exploring sort of their inner minds and how that relates to the world around them. They're very kind of neutral, chaotic in that sense as well. And they're interesting in, like, I think one of the examples we had is a gnome may look at a machine and go, "Oh wow, I'd like to take that apart to see how it works," whereas a deep gnome may run into a creature and go, "Oh wow, I'd like to take that apart to see how it works." And they don't mean any offense by it. They're not trying to be malicious. They're just very lateral in their thinking. They lick the deep toads, DMT gnomes. Yeah, so they're just, I think they're going to be one that we have to show more than tell for you to get it, but I can imagine a conversation with a deep gnome kind of feeling like watching a Terrence McKenna video. Edgar says, Deep Gnome sounds like a top tier necro class for weird scientist people out there. Hmm. So yeah, the choices here are interesting because I'm excited for people to to see the people that pick the, you know, these people, like the 12 people that picked a female troll fighter, stuff like that. So. If a deep ray sees better in the dark, is their vision impaired during the daytime on the surface? Mick, we've talked about some different ideas that we want to try to see if we can pull something off on that front without it being completely annoying. So, were there any other questions with regards to the survey, or are we good there? Will you post the final decision before Goblin starts art? Yeah. Yeah. So I can post the survey. I'll post the survey in Discord, and then we'll discuss that as a team and sort of see which ones we want to swap around or whatever, and then we'll let all of you know. We'll probably talk about it on stream as well, and then we'll go from there. I've gotten so used to the attack sounds with the human that I was like, what's going on here? Oh, I forgot that I've got aggro turned off. All right, there we go. Oh, he's got a torch. And I'm invulnerable. So I'm all sorts of cheating. Oh, it still didn't turn off because I said aggro off instead of aggro on. So, yeah, next step will be for me, probably when I'm after the stream or sometime this evening, I'll get working on getting the Paladin quest in. So those 2 quests will be available as well. And we'll be able to see those on Tuesday, I guess. Kinster says, I would like to share that the models definitely fit the feel of old school while feeling and looking much more up to date, and that's cool to see. Whenever talking about things being old school, I always get paranoid. That will mean looking like it was designed on late 90s hardware. Oh man, appreciate that. Yeah, we're trying to thread that needle a bit. And I'd say when you see stuff like this, like this tunic that I made, it's very, very, very placeholder. It's something I set up in our current system as just kind of like to give visual variation, but it's not fully functional. So we're still working on getting, basically we'll have the textures in the dressing rooms that we can use to design gear pieces. We'll get the bracers split out, get more glove options in place, bracers split out, sleeves. If you check out the stuff that Zukin's been doing and Goblin's been doing, you'll see we're going to play around with a little bit of additional geo for the shoulders, but have it be pretty subtle and in keeping with the old school look. We've got like a shoulder sort of shawl piece that Zukin's working on as well. Some helmet options to look at. And then textures. Yeah, the face is already looking great, and I would say with textures, we're probably 80% of the way there on a lot of this stuff. But we've talked about how to get the texture sort of fidelity and detail and readability, you know, where we want it to be. And so, yeah, the iterations are coming along. I'm really happy with what I can picture as the end result. The hardest part of revisiting old era EQ is the UI. Is age much worse than the art and textures, in your opinion? Yeah, UI will keep working on. We literally just started getting elements in place and looking at the aesthetics. So much like everything else, it'll be something that we get in, we check it out, we get feedback. You guys you see it in real time, so when you don't like shit, we can adjust as we go. Just to sort of wrap up the thought, like even this shirt that I made, there's zero texture on this, so it's clearly not going to be the actual end result. So here, let me, for those of you that haven't seen some of the way that we're doing some attachments, is there not a backpack? Is not a backpack. Cool. Oscar Jr. Game. Thank you for the follow. So again, we're trying to maintain the classic feel, but still facilitate some stuff like this. And then SI pouch. Let me check the database and see what that would be called. Item. There should be a pouch, huh? Unless they're not showing up on gnomes for some reason, and then I'd have to jump on a human and show you. I don't think so. Interesting. Here, let me hop out real quick and I'll hop on a human and show you. Bombo said, leave that shirt in his rare quest spawn with the ability OG dev mode capability. Let ya run around game doing whatever you want. That would have to be a very rare spawn. Varg 1983 asked, will armor look different from race to race like EQ? Or more like WoW where it all looks like the same item regardless of race? So we want to do both. We want to basically make racial armor, but then have that work with the way that we're doing armor, in that you can get something like high elf armor and wear it on an ogre, so that we get a bit of both. It'll just be very, very snug on an ogre. Very snug. Vlad's Barbershop. Thank you for the follow. The smith could make elf-style armor or an ogre. Correct. Alright, so... let's, okay, I don't have a backpack, so... am I not wearing pants either? I'm not wearing pants. Do you like that I'm not wearing pants, or do you like that we're combining both racial and the ability for everybody to wear it? BDC Retro said, I know Zukin is very passionate about making all armors appear on all races. So, like, has working ogre and robes, etc. Yeah, yeah. Ollie as well, when we first started talking about it, Ollie was very much like, we got to make this happen, so we'll support it in tech. Boone 4376, thank you for the follow. Let me get myself some pants as well before I turn the lights on. What kind of pants do we want? We'll go for some rawhide leggings. Cool. Time set. I can already imagine Ogre. Do these robes make me look fat? Oh. Nazari, all one, thank you for the follow. OG dev mode ability makes you sit and drink cold coffee. How did you know? Will there be size restrictions like EQ? Music's too loud? Oh shit, sorry. Why did I turn it up earlier? Something was going on that I needed to turn it up. Is that better? Bora EZ, thank you for the follow. Nazari said, yep, huge old school MMO fan, miss old EQ every day. Oh, these pants are not the best. Let me summon some other pants. There we go. Do you play P99? Not the same, but close. Yeah, P99 is great. All right, so the thing that I was trying to show on the gnome that wasn't working was so by trying to keep the simple sort of chunkier model style, and then we'll be working on just going for higher res textures, and then having different attachments. There will be a belt here eventually. When the belt's added, we may need to reposition pouches, but having small attachments like pouches or scrolls or books or vials, flasks, whatever, backpack variations, quivers, capes, hip quivers, other stuff. Just providing those options to kind of add to the old school, on top of the old school look. I think that'll work. So far, it's been pretty cool. So we'll see more of that. Hop back in. Those of you that are new and you're not familiar with the game, which judging by the follows, there may be a few of you, check out our website. There's an FAQ there that will get you a number of answers to questions we tend to get in here. Anything that's not covered there, we've also got a lot of VODs posted at this point on YouTube, both full streams and Keith's been making some really great shorter videos on different topics. So let me turn aggro off again. Grumpy said, I remember grouping with you in Soul B. Grumpy, when was that? Boone said, love the nostalgic art style and landscape scale. Oh, back in Aradune? Yeah, it's crazy that's been like 2 years now. Thank you, Boone. Yeah, so that's what we're shooting for. We're basically in the process of moving from old placeholder art that we had in the first year to getting things set up to be more essentially release ready or production ready. So we're keeping the blockier old school art style and then working on more modern looking painted textures. A lot of this is still essentially in gray box mode. I think, yeah, you can still see some of them are literally gray. Some have textures on that we just put on so you can kind of get a feel for it. And then we're working with the new lighting so that we've got really nice like day-night cycle and weather, and you'll see in a second here. Time set 5 p.m. So a little bit of lighting goes a long way. So leaning into lighting, we've got our various light sources that we'll be using, but then we'll also have, we've got, when we cast spells, here. Whoops. 1 and 1. Can't really see it because it's not dark yet, but essentially spells have light, different NPCs, maybe a light source as well. What's the plan for world danger and traveling? Are you doing binds or items that stay on corpse? So yeah, when you die, you leave your items on your corpse. The plan is also for us to try out you leaving your spellbook on your corpse. And so we've got some different ideas that for that we want to try. So there's a little bit of talk about do you leave your spellbook on your corpse but you retain your abilities that you have memmed? Do you wipe your abilities and leave your spellbook, but there are certain spells that you can always kind of keep as like cantrips or skills? And so we'll play with those. And then we've got the, question of how we're going to, in the next iterations, handle abilities for non-spellcasters. Because right now everything's in a book, so that would apply to melee and others as well. at the moment, the way that it's set up. So, let's see. And seriously, make too many spells. You remember how great it was to have a spell that seemed worthless and you find an amazing use for it? Yeah, I'm definitely of that school of thought. Bora says maybe some abilities, spells that could have charges you have to fill. I'm not sure what that would look like, but we definitely want to lean into reagents a fair bit. So, and that would be a whole nother consideration for casters that are dead. Makatora said, good morning, good morning. Archmage said, like I have Zom. Effing fire beetle eye. It sounds like the spell system of Secrets of Evermore. Somebody else was mentioning that in a recent stream. Speaking of water, I'll mention again. To theme. Boom. So check this out. One of our team members just released his third indie game. The link on Steam's there. It is super relaxing. What was it? What was it that was being said on Slack yesterday? It's like Sea of Thieves for introverts. Was that it? It's PvE focused, and it's one of those things that's, I know I've got so much work to get done, especially since I'm going to be out of town this weekend. But I also want to sneak in another hour tonight somehow. Oh man. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just really, really relaxing. Somebody just repopped the zone. Oh no, I hit the zone line. That was unexpected. But it'll actually be a shortcut. So here's the old city. Here's the very old placeholder city that we had. Back when this was the entirety of our game. So let me zoom back over. It'll be a shortcut. Yeah, but you guys definitely check it out. Let us know what you think. John's in here often. He is the Pilgrim One in here. He's also in our Discord. I know he's got a lot going on with the game just coming out and stuff, but definitely give him some support. I bought it. I think it's money well spent. Nizari said, this is a lot of work. Amazing work. You referring to the other zone? Or John's game? Or both? Or... Because I'll say... I won't do it on this stream because we're running out of time. We just did it. But there's a handful of zones. Oh, you guys, you got to see the new entrance. Oh, that's right. So if you weren't here Tuesday, but you've been here before, then you've seen we used to have the entrance to the dungeon here, but we've moved the entrance to the dungeon. So we've got a newbie dungeon over here. We'll breadcrumb it a little bit so you can find it. Character feels like he's floating? We'll get there. I think it's a little bit animation speed relative to move speed. Be nice to have this light source actually cast a shadow. We'll talk to Ollie and whether or not that'd break the bank. So anyway, so we were talking about it. There's some feedback in the team, and we hid the entrance to the dungeon in this nice cave here, which is here, let me show you. Oh no, I'll show you after we see it. Boom. Okay. Dungeon entrance. And that's based off of concept. Yeah. Grumpy, we fear to be nostalgic. And so we had this illustration to go by. Snake burrow. Zoning. Do I need to turn aggro off again? What I'll do is I'll just make myself invulnerable. We've got to fix the light in here, causing a little bit of lag, but we're aware of it. We made some adjustments and the light broke. Kill him. There we go. That frame rate's better. Use my super gnome ability to sneak through. Turn off aggro now, otherwise it's just going to be a pile of skeletons on me. Sneaking around. Every time I come in here, I get lost. I was so lost on Tuesday, it was ridiculous. That said, I found the entire, this entire big section that Pattis has recently added. Nick's corpse, of course. So yeah, those of you that are new to the project. Oh, yeah. And that's going to be a reveal. New model coming soon. we've really got to get a people in here so they can make a wiki, so they can make a map, so that I can find my way through this dungeon. Oh, this is new. Howdy. It's always fun to find random player corpses. Yeah, there's plenty of them. They're usually Nick's. Nick's not very good at this game. That's why his corpse is everywhere. But it's okay. We're teaching him how to play video games. He's very new to video games. All of that is in jest. Nick's favorite video game is creating GitHub issues for us to fix. Yes. I'm walking around the same areas like 10 times. Jeez, man. Down here. Not down here. I thought it was down here. What is this dungeon even? Where am I trying to go? I'm just trying to go somewhere, Pattis, that's not the same place I've been 5 times. I feel like I keep taking the wrong turn. Alright, so here's entrance. Ah! What if you add little hints that showed a way out, like mushrooms or moss? The problem here really is more about me just needing to get good. Here we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on today. Usually I find that first try instantly. I never have this problem of being lost in our dungeon. Ever. Ever. Unique fixtures to rooms will help or specific named. There's scrap. Yeah. As we continue to iterate through that part will definitely get a little bit easier. What does the plaque say? I don't know that it says anything. I tried to read it. Let me check the database and see. It should say something. Yeah. Actually, that is where I learned that we could use a... It absolutely does say something. Or at least it should, according to the database. And that's where I first saw that we can use, like, old tags to bold stuff. It was when looking at this in the database that Nick had put it. Sna said, I like the inspect feature. Yeah, we're going to do even more with it. So there's going to be a lot of, for those of you that are new here, there will be a lot of text-based interaction, like an old text-based RPG. So this is sort of the initial steps of it. So it looks for items that you have in your inventory or in your hand. So it'll be expanded a bit to be a little bit more versatile, but like you can see here, it'll work with different perception skills and stuff as well. So I click look, it says you're in an antechamber. A large stone statue rests in an alcove. English is hard. Inspect statue. There's a plaque on this statue. And I should just be able to inspect plaque. Yeah, there we go. So things like read, currently it's all just based off inspect, but in the future, I think we're going to make it a little bit more generalized so that we can just, as designers, put in verbs and nouns and let you go to town. But this lets you like use keys in weird ways or use objects as keys. Like if the statue is missing a, the statue has a has a ruby in one eye socket and the ruby's missing from the other eye socket, and you find a ruby, then you could, basically insert ruby into eye socket, and then that would do that. And so, and the system triggers things, like it can give you items, it can move you places, that, can, if it's not currently doing it, it'll cast spells, it'll trigger events, unlock things. So yeah, so we've been calling these mud objects. So just sort of based off of the text-based muds. So yeah, there's a lot of potential here. We've got a few of them already integrated and in some quest stages and stuff. So got some bugs to fix there, but it's going to be really cool. Grumpy said, got to get back to work. Can't wait to see more of this. Well, it's nice for you to stop back. It's pretty cool when people haven't been here in a while and they can see some of the changes. So see you, Grumpy. Epitaph of the last Wormsbane. Our name, our place, and our tomb, all forgotten. The brief race of time well impatiently won. The things we have died for, let them be our story, not the missteps that rent us undone. How we are undone. So, yeah, this gives us a lot of flexibility as designers to do some interesting stuff. You'll notice on on some of the merchants, you may find things like rope or grappling hooks or all sorts of weird items that you'll be like, well, how is this going to be used? And I picture the use cases kind of stemming through systems like this. Because in theory, we can do pretty much anything with tech, and it saves us a lot of production time and art costs and things of that nature. And it, again, it leans into the retro feel that we're going for. So we're not playing around when we say we want it to be retro and nostalgic, but modern, Yeah, because I mean, as a designer, say the art's already done here. We could link one of these objects to a perception skill that only a rogue has, or maybe somebody that's been, skilling up their something like a weird skill like architecture, masonry, and we could have that then either be something that you've actually have to actively click, or maybe with a high enough skill, perception triggers it and you're like, oh, okay. I get a notification that, one of the skulls in the corner has, you notice a shimmering in an eye socket, right? And then from there you interact, blah, blah, blah. So be cool to add stuff into old zones later. Later on too, for some higher level quests, etc. Yep. And since it's all data driven and it's all, by then we're used to reading instead of just looking, then it gives us a ton of flexibility to just drive everything in data. Like the interactions that you just saw there were basically, this easy for us to set up. So. And so I'm going to be adding another one for the quest that we were testing earlier, and it's going to have a specific condition. So the location will be easy enough to find, but then you've got to figure out what's the condition that needs to be met for it to work, right? Oop. And so, and that condition can be linked to day-night cycle, it can be linked to weather, it can be linked to time of day, lunar cycle, all of that stuff. Specific triggers that set conditions in the area before. Sna said, yeah, I saw you modifying quests for the cleric starter quest, and it seemed cool. You could just add like one line of reward item name. Yeah, it's very easy to work with, and allows us to crank stuff out pretty quickly. Bombo asked, I haven't made it through the older VODs. Do you demonstrate the database building process? Like how we structured it and the logic that went into it, or like how it was built technically? I'm not sure we discussed either one of those in much detail. You can hit us up in Discord, either in the M&M Discord or the stream Discord. And somebody on the tech side might be able to answer specific questions. Yeah. And again, for those of you that might be new here, this is the website. If you like what you see, join our Discord, join our mailing list. I'll remember the note that I got at the beginning of the stream that I need to update the mailing list landing page. It's still from old stuff back in the day. You can find all of our old VODs. Well, you can find like the last year and a half worth of old VODs on YouTube. We've got a bunch of content there at this point. I'll stream next week and then the following 2 weeks off. Correct, BDC Retro. So I'll be out of town this weekend, but that doesn't impact you guys. I'll be back on Tuesday for a normal stream, Thursday for a normal stream, and then for 2 weeks I will be in the Black Forest camping. Hopefully the weather's not bad. And yeah, I'll have Discord and stuff like that. So I don't come back to 50 million comments and posts and stuff that I need to catch up on. So when we're back at camp, I'll be reading Discord and talking in Slack and stuff. Black Forest from Valheim, watch out for the skeletons. Yeah. Fortunately, I've got gear that's good enough that skeletons shouldn't be a problem. And I have my trusty dog and my super strong wife. So yeah, guys, it's 5 o'clock on my end. That means I need to basically get ready to start cooking and stuff like that. So I'm gonna wrap up here. It's very cool to see so many new faces. I'm excited to see you guys in Discord and hopefully see some of you back on Tuesday. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. Kimmery, you're very welcome. Sakai, see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Archmage. It is a lot of fun to stream for you guys. Hey, Ryan. Bye, Ryan. I will do my best to enjoy the weekend. I will be in Hamburg. If anybody's there, hit me up on Discord. You may see me around. BDC Retro, you're very welcome. Merrick, good to see you. Thanks, Sakai. Later, Pattis. I'll see you in Slack. You too, Keith. I'm gonna zone out of here. It's spooky. All right, guys. Again, have a great weekend. Thanks for being here. It was a lot of fun today. And I'll get the results of the survey posted as soon as I log out here. So, see you Tuesday.